Mystery scales here. Minimalism. That was funniest concept actually. No. That was funniest concept to be honest. Not really the most funniest concept. Really, as a fundamental or rudimentary essence, is a really great because here's the idea of fucking simplicity and its own though. Simplicity is just basically living a life. It's just basically like of less. But corporations are basically in context of freaking corporation. Ooh, money. And unironically, it basically has correlation or connection as well to our art that's basically been influenced by the CIA too as well, dude. In a nutshell, freaking abstract art, yes, abstract, absurdist art, or I mean abstract art, and also as well the freaking modern freaking garbage art. To be honest, that I really want to discuss about that thing too as well in a later video. It's basically warped the perception of beauty of humanity there. Yeah, in Platonism, there, in Neoplatonism, the form of good is beauty itself. The form of good is beauty itself. In a nutshell, when one sees, this, one sees a freaking statue there, a freaking statue that is really great to sculpt, you will feel like awe and just inspiring yourself there. And also as well, not only it reflects good as well, it also reflects good as in a context of good as in a context as well is just basically in the positive sense, but more in a moral sense, it also reflects as well, not in a context of the statue, but basically the competency of a competency is a competency of it of competency or the skills that it needed to make it, to be honest, dude, to make it to fruition, to be honest, dude. In a nutshell, well, when one is an artist or a musician, they know right and wrong already, and that's what makes them really moral, really moral. If their skill is sharpened, and also as well the martial arts too as well. If you know basically the Conan the Barbarian, the sharpening of the will itself, this Conan doing a kata or a kata, and sharpening his skill to swordsmanship. To be honest, dude, that's pretty freaking cool, awesome there. As a body makes mythology, as a body in cultivation, and also as a will included, make culture, civilization, make morality, then make a story or mythology that makes culture and society itself. And now the fucking corporation as well, let's use the word, oh my gosh, minimalism to warp the idea of perception of like the idea of fucking beauty in society itself there. You see those freaking buildings that just look like a freaking Saturnian black cube, to be honest, dude. And not Saturnian black cube, to be honest. And the looks like a freaking garbage, to be honest, dude. This is basically freaking like trash. Like looks like freaking trash. It was freaking like trash. This is freaking like freaking like look like a fucking like just a basic a black box or basically just freaking like trash container, to be honest, dude. Even much worse than even much worse than that stuff in a nutshell about than that stuff in a nutshell is about the idea itself of this minimum. The corporation just use minimalism to make themselves like lazy itself there. Not really like lazy, but basically make them really ridiculously incompetent. And so the people too as well. And also as well there. And also as well. And also as well. Kind of like the idea of that fucking stupid banana in modern art that sells like a million or not million, but basically like fucking 20,000. I don't remember basically the fucking price is basically that. Minimalism is just used to minimalism is just used as an excuse or alibi to to promote or even prolong laziness and lethargy, to be honest, dude. Like, laziness and lethargy, to be honest, dude. laziness and lethargy there, and the freaking corporation will use that, basically will use that stuff itself there, and warping this idea itself there, or basically the census to man, and basically raise the freaking price instead, though raise the freaking price to a freaking to a freaking product, to be honest, dude. Hey, look at that freaking Coke, to be honest, dude. I mean Coca-Cola, to be honest, dude. In Philippines we call it Coke, though. Yeah, basically Coke, though. Look at the Coca-Cola can there. Basically, look at the Coca-Cola can, though. The logo, and also the logo, and also as well the freaking logo, as well the freaking design has been changed there, but has been changed to really ridiculous, like minimalist, really in a minimal or a simplistic way, but basically just a pin up, not really a pin up, but basically a dollar up. That's it. That's it. And this is the most, oh my gosh, most terrifying thing, to be honest, dude, about the idea itself of competency there. If basically the corp if basically a normie would see that stuff itself there, and also as well the freaking like corporation incorporating, which is basically in freaking like corporate culture is integrating like freaking like pop Buddhism, not pop Buddhism, or just layman Buddhism in a nutshell, and just basically, oh, that's really ridiculously zen as heck there, and just so basically ridiculous that, and living a life itself there, which is basically like a living a life of less, or just a bit, as a bit is really good. But to be honest itself there, when basically a normal people would see that stuff in a nutshell, they just basically mean there as basically being duped in a nutshell. Being duped by what, to be honest there? By corporations, of course, though. Yeah, being duped by what? By corporations web. Okay. Competency lowered. Now I'm not saying competency as in a context of basically competition. No. But competency of every individual. If corporation lower their skills, they're lower, not their skills, but by their competence itself there, or basically lower their advent to something as well there, or basically being like basically dumbing themselves down on purpose or deliberately, so does basically the society too as well there, and they will not appreciate like the actual piece of art, to be honest, dude. The actual piece of art, to be honest, dude. Piece of art as in a concept that takes like fucking like all the fighting of basically like Greek painters, to be honest, dude. Greek painters, to be honest. Well, actually, particularly for like El Greco, to be honest, dude. Also, an artist as well, they're like seeing those stars is just freaking awesome as heck there. And also as well, it exudes fashion itself and beauty, dude. You'll be enamored by by its portrait, to be honest, dude. Enamored by the craft or the piece itself. A normie, a normie itself, a normie itself, within the plan of those freaking dudes up high specifically, or the elites even well just said that, oh my gosh, oh shit, oh, I know now, I'll just lower or just dumb down myself, and then dumb down myself as well, and just living in this life eventually, living in this life essentially. It's just the kind of like idea of this fucking like the elites, about the idea that you will own nothing and be happy. Minimalism in check. Now just basically the removal of properties themselves. This is basically the secondary now, dude. And tertiary is basically domination. That's pretty much it. The tertiary is just domination and just control. The normies has no capacity itself to create not just art, but basically create beauty as a whole, or basically be, if one has competency in themselves, they will be ridiculously independent. They will be independent. That's pretty much it. They will understand morality itself more, and understand more, and that will expand the ethos, and also as well their deontology to themselves, of themselves, to be honest, though. So yeah, it's basically not just a war of basically having less or just laziness, to be honest, dude, but also as well the perception of man to beauty and good. So yeah, that's a war. It's a fucking war, to my guys. That's pretty much it. That's why basically freaking like leads like wants people to freaking like garbage, to be honest, dude. Like garbage, to be honest, dude. They're really like basically like want garbage, to be honest, dude. And not just garbage, to be honest. Not just garbage, to be honest, dude. But just wanting like mediocrity, to be honest, dude. Like more or mediocre stuff, dude. Just wanting this stuff, wanting stuff, wanting stuff of lower grade, to be honest, dude. Of lower grade. Not wanting stuff of lower grade, but basically like just ugly, in a sense that just ugly, or just exudes or just exemplifies just ugliness itself there. That's pretty much it. The freaking like the freaking like the freaking third move of the elites after that said about minimalism, to be honest, dude. Third move, like minimalism, I said before, there is like some this minimalism itself, or just having less, you will own nothing and be happy. It's just a removal of freaking property as well there, and domination. And probably the end of that is just basically I don't know, it's basically the end of it, to be honest, dude. But to be honest, there is just basically it will have like freaking like a reverse oneness, or just back to like hive mind, to be honest, dude. Back to hive mind, but basically inverted, to be honest, or kind of like demiurgic oneness, demiurgic oneness. That's pretty much it. So yeah, Mr. Scales out. That's pretty much it though. This freaking topic.